everybody, it's Chris from the Evermore podcast, the Cash United podcast, and the Evermore YouTube channel. Back from the Rumour Has It video where we're talking about players linked to the club in this summer transfer window. We all know we're looking for attacking options. We'll be linked with another player in the last couple of days, and also an update on some players we've been linked to previously. So we're going to get stuck into that in a second. Just before I do a little bit of housekeeping, if you haven't already, please click that like and subscribe button. We've had loads of new subscribers recently. We're past the 1,500 mark, so thank you so much to everybody who's hit that button. But if you're new to the channel, hit the button, hit the bell, and come and join us. We've got loads of content before the transfer window shuts, and obviously we're back with a weekly podcast every Monday and Wednesday to talk all things Newcastle. So without further ado, let's get stuck into another player. And yeah, it is another attacking player. I'm just going to remove the logo so we can see him in all of his glory, and that is Colombian international Luis Muriel, or Muriel, if you want to call him that, depending on which way you pronounce it. So he plays for Atalanta, which might sound familiar. They came to St James's Park on Friday, a couple of weeks ago. Muriel did play. I don't remember him tearing up any trees. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments below. 31 years old, so he's no spring chicken. He's nicknamed the Octopus by his teammates because of his unpredictability with his feet. You can see from his scoring history there, he's never really been a massively prolific striker. He's got a decent strike rate at the likes of Sevilla there. But he didn't play, I say decent strike rate. It's not the best, to be honest with you. You know, you're looking at his record. Sorry, I got the numbers the wrong way around to start with. Mark's confusing with his new super duper stat slides, but he's not massively prolific. I think Atlanta's probably been his best return, you know, with 128 appearances and 59 goals. Last season, he got 9 and 27, and he got 8 assists. So he does seem to create a lot for his teammates. So I'll give him that. He's got a bit of pace. He's got quick feet. He is unpredictable on the ball. He takes the ball close control. He can beat a man. You know, somebody's liking him to a spree. I think that's just the Colombian angle, to be honest with you. So at 31, you know, you look at it thinking, is this really the player we want? But the reported fee to get Luis Muriel will be 12.5 million. So it seems like decent business from that regard, you know, for an experienced goal scorer. He's got 45 caps for Colombia. I think he's got 8 goals. So, you know, he's an experienced player. And you can see that he's been all around Europe, really. You know, obviously he's been in Serie A quite a lot. He's been over at La Liga for a couple of years. You know, so he's played, you know, seriously top league football, and he's played European football. So he would bring a wealth of experience, and maybe at 31, he wouldn't be expected to be a starter. He can play across that front three. Obviously does it's better work, I suppose, through the middle, but with the numbers that he has, he's not as prolific to be a number 9, but he'd be good cover for Callum Wilson. You can see his kind of goals and assists per 90 as the table suggests there. You know, he had his kind of better years, I suppose, at Atalanta. So that seems to have been when he's really found his game. A lot of players have that, you know, they hit the peak of their career, they maybe struggle a bit when they're younger. You can see there when he was at Granada and obviously Lecce as well, the numbers weren't great, but, you know, progressively he's scored more and more goals as his career's gone on. As he's got more and more savvy, more and more experience, and possibly surrounded by better players too. So it might not be a ridiculous bit of business for 12 million quid, but the only stumbling block really on this deal, I suppose, is that the reported news that he doesn't want to come. He's not interested in coming. Look at his career there. He spent most of his time in Serie A. So he's 31 now. If he can get another Serie A move, you know, if Atalanta are looking to sell him, you know, he could end up at another Serie A club, have 2 or 3 years there, retire at 34, and then, you know, that'll be him done probably. You know, he'll probably get a job in punditry, probably on Match of the Day Italy or something like that. But I'm not sure there's much legs in this, to be brutally honest with you. I think we're at the silly season now where we're so desperate for strikers that there's going to be so many names linked, and I think as the weeks tick on without us signing a backup striker, we'll have everybody in that dog link. We won't do a video for every single one of them because I think me and Mark will have to quit our jobs and do it full time, and we can't afford to do that. So yeah, you know, this one's out there. There's loads of links there, but I don't really see a lot of weight in this one, to be brutally honest with you. It's I think it's maybe just a little bit of paper talk. He's possibly trying to get a better deal, or maybe they're just trying to get him a move to another club. But you can see there the lad's got the stats to back it up. You know, he compares very well next to Callum Wilson. You know, obviously we know Callum's been injured a lot. You know, if you had a full 20 season game out of or 20 game a season out of Callum Wilson, even you know, 3/4 of the season, his numbers would be a hell of a lot better than that. I don't think he'd be anywhere near getting touched. But you know, you can see there that Muriel brings, you know, passing, key passes and finishes. He spends a lot of his time drifting out wide to get the ball, so he could play in the front three as well. So it might not be a bad bit of business for 12 million quid, but I just don't think this one's going to happen. And as I say, I don't remember him pulling up any trees at St James's Park on Friday, and that was against a very second string Newcastle, where Elliot Anderson stole the show and was the best player in the park next to Miggy. So yeah, for me, I'm not really thinking this one's going to happen, and I'm not massively in favour of it. But let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you think it'll be a good signing or not. I think we could probably get better. Somebody maybe a bit younger as well, who could have a bit more longevity, because Wilson isn't getting any younger. If he has another couple of bad injuries this season, that could really see him out. So we need to be thinking about the future as well here as the present. So yeah, I'm not too keen on this one, and I think it's a bit of agent talk really. But moving on from that one, there's a couple of updates on some other players that are very familiar to us. 90-minute, and Graham Bailey in particular has reported, I think we did a Rumour Has It video on this the other day, that Eddie Howe is ready to go over to France again. He's had success there before, obviously, with signing Bruno from Lyon, signing Botman from Lille. And we talked about this lad the other day, Bamba Dieng from Marseille. Very good player, young, 22 at the other end of the spectrum to Muriel. Pace, skill, very Mane-esque in his work rate, can play across the front three, does his best work through the middle. At 22, he'd be happy to, I think, learn from someone like Callum Wilson. And if he kicks on and does well, he could maybe fill that void. So yeah, for me, if you're talking about 12, 15 million quid for a lad like that, I think that's money well spent, not maybe for a 31-year-old, seasoned Serie A veteran who, plays a game at a much slower pace. I'm not sure he would be much use for us really going forward, would be Muriel. But I think, yeah, definitely Bamba Dieng. There could be a bit of truth in that. And for that figure, kind of 12 to 15 million quid, that's good business. The other name is a name that we've all been talking about over the summer. Sometimes we've agreed or disagree whether he's actually going to be linked to the club or not, whether he's just linked because his mate plays here. But it is Lucas Paqueta. And Graham Bailey in 90 minutes seemed to be quite confident that Lyon are willing to do business at £33 million. Now, that is a snip really for a player of that quality. 24 years old, Brazil international, skill, creativity, can create, can score goals. The fact he knows Bruno so well from his Lyon days in Brazil squads really helps, because he could settle in very, very quickly. He's been to Newcastle before. He seemed to like the area, spending their time in the quayside. So for me, the more I hear about this deal, the more it makes sense to me. I'd love James Maddison, don't get me wrong, but I just think this digging the heels in a lesser typical club over English players really happens all the time. It's fucking ridiculous, really. These players don't get the moves that they probably want, and they end up staying at clubs a lot longer, and sometimes their careers kind of go backwards as well and regress. But for me, if it's a toss-up between paying 50 million quid for James Maddison on his own, or 50 million quid for Paqueta and Bamba Dieng, that's a no-brainer. You go to France, you do the double deal, you get the lads over, and you grow the squad. You've got a player in a key area for a backup centre forward who can score goals, who's a threat, who's got pace, who can get in behind back fours. And you've also got a player in Paqueta who can play wide, he can play as a number 10. He's got skill, he's got creativity, he gives you a different dynamic. So yeah, for me, that's an absolute no-brainer, and it just further emphasises the English tax on players like Maddison. Shame for Maddison, because I think Leicester are going backwards. I don't think they're going to buy any players. I think they're in a real financial pit. I think they've completely underplayed it. I think Rodgers will get pissed off and possibly leave and go to a bigger club, especially for the manager start to wobble and start to struggle a little bit. Even European football going abroad, Rodgers could do a good job over there. He's very much that kind of a manager with that kind of an ethos. He spent time at obviously Liverpool and Celtic, two massive clubs in Europe as well. A lot of other clubs out there will know about Brendan Rodgers. If he starts getting pissed off and getting itchy feet and he leaves, then Leicester will be in real trouble as well. So Maddison will probably want this Newcastle move. That seems to be the word. But I think he might get outpriced here. And obviously Paqueta at 33 million quid, seems to be a much better option, much better value for money. I do think the lad would do well in the Premier League. I think he's got all the ability to do so. Yes, I've said before that Maddison is tried and tested, and I'm right there, he is. But for 50 million quid, compared to a lad who's 33, 24 years of age, Brazilian international, that's a no-brainer. So let us know what you guys think in the comments below, whether you agree or disagree with that, whether you'd be happy to get Luis Muriel in. I just think that's a bit of blah blah agent talk, to be honest with you. I think I'd much rather go for Bamba Dieng, but as always, we'd love to know what you guys have got to say in the comments. We always do our best to come back to you. As I mentioned at the start, if you haven't already, please click that like and subscribe button. Help us get to that 1,600 subs. We only need about 72, I think it is. Quick maths there. So yeah, if you can smash the button, hit the notification bell, you'll never miss any videos, whether it be Rumour Has It like this or the weekly podcast, What's Going On Monday, and the Evermore show on Wednesday. We're going to be back this Wednesday at 7. We've got loads to talk about. the Forest game. We've got Eddie Howe's new deal. We've got a bit more of a transfer update. We're going to take one look towards Brighton as well at the weekend, which is going to be a tough game for us after they smashed Manchester United at the weekend. So keep it evermore, guys. Let's keep supporting that team of Core United, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers, bye.